Wait, let's say our pronouns real quick. I'm a he.
I'm a starfish. You and I are sick.
You walked into a lion's den.
You wouldn't know that it was human meat until they said to you, human carpaccio.
When I think about eating people, not only do I think about how they would taste, but I also like to think about their personality.
Walked into a lion's den.
Just call me my guy and we're good.
Yeah, call me my dude. That's it. You sound like the dumbest robot
I
made.
am the dumbest robot.
Thank you for listening to Splittin Hairs. On this podcast, you're gonna learn about yourself. I'm Ashlynn Salzano.
My name is Chris Metcalf.
We're all lizard people anyway.
Happy Easter, motherfuckers.
Happy Easter.
Also, like, Happy Easter, motherfuckers. Like, what a way. Like, wow, this girl must be religious. This girl must take religion so seriously.
Well, you know what? Easter is not about mothers. It's about Jesus. Jesus coming back. He rolled that big old stone out of the way, and he was like, I'm back, guys. You thought I was dead. He made a comeback.
You know what's really weird is that, like, I grew up on, like, religion. Like, my aunt is Pentecostal, so she would take me to church a lot. My grandmother was super Catholic, and she would take me to church a lot. And, like, there's, like, my aunt used to be like, remember when you used to take, like, church classes? Like, what is that? Like, school?
CCD?
Yeah, like.
That's, I don't know. They would call it that in, like, the suburbs, or CCD. Same thing. Yeah.
What does it stand for?
Probably Catholic curriculum, something, but yeah.
Right, but she's not Catholic, so it's Pentecostal, but it was like church, like they used to call
Bible
them class.
school.
Yes,
Yeah,
Bible classes
Yeah,
and stuff like that. Yes. So I used to do those, and she used to be like, you remember you were so good at it. I don't remember shit about religion. Like,
that's
it
recruiter
just,
shit.
It's just this, it did not stick. Like, and you know what's crazy too? Like looking back, like, people used to be like, oh, you're so, like, they would be like, oh, you're so smart, you know, in the class. And it, like, turned me off because I did no studying. And I was like, if I'm smart in here, then this is fucking dumb, you know?
But see, that's the thing. That's why it's like cult shit, right? They're like getting you integrated with the knowledge when you're young. But then it's like, it's a class you can't fail, right? So, of course, they're going to be like, you're so good at this, Ashlynn. You belong here with us. Well, I guess they're Pentecostal, so they're like, what are they, like? Do you feel him inside you? Because you're giving off the vibes of the Lord right
it's
now.
Like, yeah, it's like Jesus is inside you, right? Like, oh, Jesus must be inside you. And you're like...
oh, he is filling you with the knowledge of himself.
I'm like, I don't think this is a conversation you should be having with a child.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, oh, you're a religion. Maybe you should.
Right.
Maybe that's how you do it.
Yeah.
But I just, like... And then also, like, going to Pentecostal churches, like, it would give me so much anxiety... Because, you know, they're all about the, like, washing the spirit out of you, and they do those things, like, in the
church,
the sermon, the ceremony.
Yeah, those are all, I think. Well, the sermon, I think, is usually like when the priest does his little, like, all right, we just read some scripture. Let's talk about it. You know,
It was like that too. Yeah,
but
like
the ceremony. Yeah, it's a ceremony.
Yeah, so like they would like be like, oh, make a line. You know, like they do that stuff. Make a line. Whoever needs Jesus to heal them today.
Yeah.
And they would do like the and then like walk and be like and it's like dance moves, but they're like aggressive. Like,
they're doing their best James Brown impression. Good God.
They're doing like the moonwalk, but like supposedly the demon is coming out. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he just...
And like, it was like, and that's how I felt as a kid. I'm not even trying to make fun of it now. Like, I'm not making fun. That's literally how I felt. But it was like so it would give me anxiety. And I was like, isn't church supposed to be calming? Like, aren't I supposed to feel like at peace here?
Right.
Like, aren't I supposed to feel like relaxed? Because I like have so much anxiety here. Like,
I think that there are some fun churches, right? Like I went, I know I talked on one of the previous episodes. Like I went to like, you know, Roman Catholic style, like Northeast fucking church, right? Like pedophile style church, you know, like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And we're very close to the diocese, like that kind of, you know.
Yeah.
But like one of my buddies, he was like, you know, how some people they're like, so I went to like Catholic school all the way up through high school. Like college was the first like not like affiliated Catholic school I went to. And one of my good friends, Chris, we went to, he's black.
That explains so much about you.
What? That I went to Catholic
Catholic
school?
up until college.
Yeah, for sure.
It's why you're always trying to push the envelope.
Yeah.
It's why
repressed.
you're like, you know, like they say, like Catholic schoolgirls are freaky. Like there's that thing, like if a girl,
So are the boys. So are the boys.
I don't doubt that either. But you know, it's like straight boys, like when they go to Catholic school, they're always trying to push the envelope. Like they have like something, like they're like trying to piss the world off all the time. And I'm like, not in a bad way either. Not having to be in a bad way, but I'm like, I don't understand your energy. But then they're like, I went to Catholic school, and I'm like, that's it. Because for a normal public kid, you're just allowed to push every envelope. You know what I mean?
And I wrote some stuff down that we can get a little more into that.
Yeah.
But to finish what we were like talking about with the churching, because you're not wrong, by the way.
About anxiety? Oh, no, about pushing the envelope?
When you find out a dude, like went to Catholic school, you're like, I'm seeing more of the picture now. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But so to your thing about like church, like, can't this be like fun or calming or relaxing, right? Like, the ones I came from was like, felt like kind of like boring and was like, had like creepy tones to it and a lot of guilt, right? But I went, my one buddy who I went to school with, he was like, yeah, man, I believe it was Baptist. And he was like, and his family's black. He's black. And they're like, he's like, I'm not, he's like us, you know, he's not like, he wasn't like religious. Like he and I are actually still real tight. And like, we went to, he was like, he's like, my mom's like Baptist church they go to is doing a like bowling trip. Yeah. So like, you want to come bowling? He's like, they might say some Catholic shit, but he's like, we're just going for the bowling. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude, let's go. So we go, his mom drops us off, and we're standing in the parking lot, and all these, you know, people at the Baptist church are like walking in. This is in Massachusetts, like walking into a mass. And they're like, and like, you know, they're very jovial. Like, they're just like, where are you two young gentlemen doing this afternoon? And we're like, oh, we're just waiting for the bowling. Like, we're just waiting for the trip. And they're like, oh, well, why don't you come hang out inside for a bit while we wait for the bowling trip?
We're just trying to get our bowl on, man. We're
we're
trying to bowl out, brother.
And we're in middle school. Like this, we're probably in like the 6th grade. Mm-hmm. Like, this is like how old we are. And they're just like, come on in. And we're just like, oh, and we decided like, oh, maybe they're doing like a little quick little mass before we all get in the buses to go bowling.
Yeah. This is like an appetizer mass. And
yes, a little Lord, get some Lord in me before we hit those fucking get to the alleyways. You know what I mean?
You know, do some prayers for some strikes.
The
you
Lord
know what
loves
I mean?
bowling up there. A lot of space up in heaven to build bowling alleys. So we go in and they start it up, you know, and the mass. I don't even want to call it mass because it was like very musical. There was like, praise the Lord, we love him. Woo, da, 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 da. And there was some of like, you know, and it was very like, you know, I love blues and like we do stand up. There's that like rhythmic, like, and I said to him and we did and like he was in the flow.
I went like, you remember the security guard that used to work at Coogan's, right? Willie? Yeah. Well, when he was
a pastor.
No, he was bipartisan, right? That's what you say. But did I? No. That's a different word. He was a Baptist. Yeah. So he was a Baptist. I mean, we went to his funeral. Like, you know, we all went. Like, everyone who worked at Coogan's, and then the customers at Coogan's went too, because like he was very loved. I mean, he is someone like, honestly, like, and I'm not saying everyone deserves to die, but he is someone that like when he died, I was like, the world is not fair. Right. Like, he is such a great person. Kind, funny. Like, yeah, he was a church man, but he was funny. Yeah. Like, just an old school black dude. Yeah. Like, spoke in sentences that he never finished, you know? Yeah. Like, what you doing? You ain't doing that. How we doing? All right. Okay. What we doing? Drinking? Okay.
Praise
like,
the Lord.
Yeah. But not even praise the Lord.
I know.
That's how he talked all the time. Like, they'd be like, can you do a full sentence? Like, without like the break and the
yeah.
And so everyone loved him, and like I'm telling you, like he's someone where I'm like life is not fair. He had more life to offer, and he was just a beautiful person. And we all went to his funeral, and he was a Baptist, and you know not everyone knows what a Baptist church is, and not everyone is aware what they do. And in the middle of the funeral, right, they're all doing the thing like, praise the Lord. Yes, he was. Lord was in Willie. Yes, you know what I mean? Like all of that. Like, and someone's like, man, this is a pretty happy funeral.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's how they do it. Like, it's not like the Catholic, guilt of like, they are gone, we are sad. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it was just like, I've experienced
It's like happy church.
Yeah.
And here's the fucking kicker. It was like a 3-hour fucking shebang. And there was no bowling because it was the next Saturday or Sunday, not the fucking one that we went.
So wait, you had the whole mass?
We sat through the whole thing, and like, you're getting tired from the singing and the clapping. And me and my friend kept being like, damn, he's like, this is a long ass fucking.
When we gonna get the bowling?
Like seriously,
is the alley gonna let us in? Yeah, like are we gonna?
Didn't even fucking go bowling, and we didn't even go the next Saturday. We were like, fuck all this. Yeah, we didn't even go. I probably had like soccer or something.
But can I ask you a question? When you said to the guy, "Yeah, we're just waiting for the bowling," he knew. He was like, "Oh, the bowling." He wasn't like, "That's next week, guys." He was like, "Oh yeah, come in."
Yeah,
like, what did he think, that he was waiting there for a week?
I know, right? I think it was also probably weird because there's like these two like 6th graders just standing there, and everyone's filing into the thing. And I this was a long time ago. From my memory, it was just kind of like I was like, some people were like, "Are you too lost?" And we're like, "No, waiting for bowling." They're like, "Okay," and then like kept, But then eventually, like it was like some guy maybe who knew lots of people, and he was just like, I've been watching you two gentlemen standing out here for a while, and it was just like, we're just like, why don't, it was just, I know, but yeah.
My thing is like the whole thing.
He probably knew there was no bowling.
Right, and like he didn't know also that like the bowling was next week. He didn't put 2 and 2 together.
Right.
Like, oh no, fellas, that's next week. Like you're here too early, like he just caught you. He said the bowling, all right. Come in.
He's like the editor of the epistle that goes out every week.
Well, like I can agree. Like when you said the guilt too, it's like it's funny because I thought my grandmother was Catholic, so like I said, so like we used to go to church with her, but she used to force us, right? Like my mom didn't even pick my godmother. My mom didn't pick my sister's godmother. My aunt didn't pick my cousin's godmother. Like my grandmother took us without our parents knowing. Like it wasn't this whole like, oh, we'll get together at church and have
Was it behind their back?
What?
Was it like knowing, like your mom knew that she wasn't going?
It wasn't like behind our back. Like, I mean, I guess it was, but it was like, it wasn't like a whole big to do, right? It wasn't like, oh, we're gonna do a baptism, everyone come. Like my grandmother was so Catholic that it was like, yeah, we're doing a baptism. This is like, I want you to be the godmother of my granddaughter. Like, I'm bringing them next week. Like, see you here. Like, not inviting everyone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, when can we do the baptism? Okay, I'll bring them. Like, that's it. And so, like, that's how Catholic my grandmother was. Like, she didn't leave it up to her daughters to be like, oh, I want my... She, like, takes that so serious. She picked all our godmothers. Like, they're not even close to our parents.
Right.
Like, my godmother passed away when I was, like, 12 because she was so old.
So I wonder if that's an old school Catholic thing because my dad was baptized. There's footage of it where the mother doesn't go. That the godmother and the grandmother go.
Oh,
and take
I wonder.
The kid. And it's like literally footage of my dad like as a baby being walked, and you see my grandmother in the window waving goodbye, and they go. And it's just like, oh, there's Jude off to going to get baptized. The mom doesn't go, so that might be some real old. That might be why she did like
right,
went
but
like
that's
that.
Like old school Catholic. That's like
old
true
school
to
shit.
And like she didn't, like we'll talk about it later. But like she didn't even care that my mom was gay as long as like my mom identified as Catholic. You know what I mean? Like she didn't care we were Catholic. Like. You planning on getting married? Catholic. You know what I'm saying? Like that was like her whole big deal. It wasn't even like gay shit or anything like that. And so like I remember, and when you said guilt, because I used to be like, oh, I felt so much anxiety being in that church. I felt a lot of guilt in going to Catholic church.
So much.
Just because I didn't know like when to get up and when to start singing, and like people knew, and I'd be like, oh, I'm such a bad person. I don't know what to do at church. Like, I don't know where to put my hands. But can I put my hands in my pocket? Like, do I start singing? Like, yeah. Oh, are we using the thing? You got to bring the thing down.
The kneeling on the pews. Yeah.
We're not doing that.
Or like, how about when you walk to the pew and then you get in the pew and then you realize other people are genuflecting before they get in the pew and you're like, fuck, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
You're doing that whole shit. Yeah. Yeah.
Or like, you know, you like at some point you do kneel on the pew with people, and then like you're still kneeling on the pew and everyone is up and they're like, you know what I mean? Like, or like you're just like lost, and it's like guilt. You're like, oh, I'm a stupid dumb idiot.
But when you go to the school and you're like around that shit more, like it's annoying. Like they used to tell us like we used to kneel, but then you could like kind of like put your butt back on the pew because like sometimes you'd be kneeling. Some priests, those fucking psychos, would make you be kneeling for a bunch. Different churches do different things, like. But you kneel, and the teachers would come by and be like, "Lift, don't lean back. Get up,
up."
Shit
back
like
up,
that. You're like, oh god, my fucking back.
Now,
but they didn't want you hanging over. Yeah.
Now here's my question, right? Like, you know, we as a generation, like you and I, our whole generation, like our friends, we seem to not be as religious, right? Mm-hmm. And some people wonder why. Like some people are like, oh, because the church is not progressive enough, the pedophilia and all of that, right? Like all that legit shit. But also, I think like. And I don't know if our parents dealt with this, but I felt like going to church was more of like a punishment, like boredom.
For us, it felt that way.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I wonder if we're not religious because that's what we associate church with. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I feel like for that style of church, for Catholic church, it's for repenting and the sin and the remorseful, like there's that, but to our point,
but even Pentecostal, and I'm not saying that young
like
kids
Baptist church and shit.
I'm not saying that like no young kids like it. What I'm trying to say is that our generation seems to not be religious.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's
like I know
science and
more
like knowledge.
I don't like church because like my mom would make my aunt watch me, and I just wanted to be home. You know what I mean? So I besides the whole like everything else, you know what I mean?
It was just boring.
But I wonder also, like, if we felt like some kind of punishment. You know what I mean? So we associated with that.
Well, yes. I think
because why wasn't our grandparents bored? You know what I mean?
Because they were...
Did they buy into the cult thing? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to question religion.
No. I think it's... I think it's more just like there was less questioning of authority for those previous generations. It was more like, this is what you do. Right. This is what you do.
Right. You get yes is boring.
A husband. Yeah.
Yes is boring.
This is life.
Yeah.
You know, like even my dad, or even generations before, like now it's like, follow your dreams. Do what you want to do. Like you could be there's more of that where that wasn't like a thing. Like you could, but I don't think that was what was being promoted. It was like,
but they laughed
get a job.
You. But they laughed at you if you like were someone who was following their dream.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
like, you're someone who's following their dream.
Like, why don't you get a real job? Like, I work hard to feed my family and this and that. And that sentiment is still there, sure. But I just think that now it's like kids want to be influencers. Like there are kids, like my nephew, or my cousin, whatever, he's like a little kid and he's just like, I want to be an influencer. Like,
but I don't know. I mean, he sounds great. Give me his YouTube channel. But I don't know if it's that or like you said, I think it's probably more
part of it, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably more that we get to question. Like our generation gets to question everything. Like, right? Like we all didn't just get married. We all didn't just have kids. Like we got to question life, like the meaning of life. Maybe it is that. But like I always associate church with like bothersome, you know? And like I have a Pentecostal church right here, and like as we're recording, I'm like, and sometimes like on a Sunday or Saturday they play their fucking loud music, and I'm like, okay,
it was playing early. Yeah,
I'm like, I can't play loud music, but they can,
right?
And I get it, it's fucking church, but I'm like, this is church for me. Like, I'm like, I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Like, someone could do a noise complaint about me, but like, you feel like a dick being like, hello, 911, yes, noise complaint. The church, you know what I mean? Like you feel like kind of a dick, but like it is true. But then I'm like hoping that they don't start because I'm like, oh man, this podcast you're just gonna hear
have backtrack music, soundtrack to this fucking episode.
Yeah. So I guess I associate religion with just like boredom and maybe like a punishment. Like it's just weird. It's weird.
Specifically with Catholicism. Well, if you want to, speaking personally, right?
Yeah.
What dismantled me kind of from like, you know, being raised Catholic, like, you know, my parents weren't like hardcore. I mean, there was a lot of weekends where my mom would be like, Sunday, would be like, we're going to church.
Right.
And my brother like, oh, I don't want to go to church. And then we go to church, and my dad's still like in his underwear. And my mom's like, Jude, we're going to church. He's like, I got work to do. I was like, wait, I'll stay home with dad and you go to church. And it was like, no, you're coming to church. And we're like, oh, I don't want to go to church. And it's just like that.
I want to stay with dad.
Yeah, we want to hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I agree. It's just like, it feels like a punishment. It's this whole thing. And then in hindsight, you think back of like, if you sin, you go to the fiery pits of hell.
Right.
You have original sin. No matter what you do, you go to all the confession in the world and not murder anybody, you still have original sin.
Right.
There's just a constant thing of guilt. You'll be judged at the gates of like all this shit, right? Like it's all guilt driven. Like it's all like repent
it's so funny because it's like sometimes it sounds like, and I'm not here to say God is real, God is fake. Whatever.
He's whatever you want him to be.
Honestly, that's how I feel though. Because like, anyone can write we have like how many different gods do we have?
What do you mean?
Like in this world, like on this planet, like there's Jesus, there's Buddha.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we have like different gods.
And then the ancient ones that don't even really
Exactly.
I'm a Viking. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Protein, like
all those pagan religions that aren't around anymore that were squashed out by the Catholics. They did. They fucking murdered mad people. They did. I swear to God. Yeah. Well, look up the history books. I'm not saying we're all like everyone listening, watching. Usually, I don't think people are like, save more Catholics. There's plenty,
Yeah.
There's a lot we could do without, but yeah.
Yeah. Back to my thought. Let's retract on they killed everybody. Not wrong, but let's just tippy toe back a little bit, just a tad. But I forgot what I was saying.
You were saying there's so many different gods like that exist
right.
today.
So I'm like not trying to question anyone's God. You believe in what you believe in, and honestly, as long as it like helps you and you feel like you're doing good, I don't judge anyone for that. You know what I mean? But it like gets to a point where sometimes I feel like God is like the equivalent of Santa for like adults.
Yes.
Like if you're naughty, you're going to hell. Like if you're naughty, Santa won't bring you gifts.
Right.
You know what I mean? It just kind of feels like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I just don't believe in the God Bible, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. I'm with you.
That person that they're describing, like their God, like I just don't believe in that. Like I don't believe that there's a God that's going to sit there and tell you like right from wrong and like this is wrong and this is right and you have to follow these rules.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's always so like it's a man-written book. So you know what I mean? Why are we taking it so serious?
That was also written like hundreds of years after all the shit that's in it happened.
Right. Exactly.
And
we've all played
times.
Telephone before.
Yeah.
the
and written in a
telephone.
different language too.
Yeah.
I'd be reading some Bad Bunny lyrics that are getting translated. I know he's not saying those exact words in that exact order.
Right, exactly.
It sounds different to a Spanish mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does say Hadouken weird though.
Hadouken.
I thought he was saying a word. Anyway, that is something.
How many languages do you speak?
0. Cero.
Yeah, you don't even speak English.
Yeah. Cero. Yeah.
But yeah, like I just like, I don't believe in like that shit. Like I don't believe in that shit. But I do believe like there is a God, like not a God, maybe.
An entity.
Like
something of a higher power.
Yeah.
Well, I'm with you because what I don't know if ironically is the right term, but like what ended it for me was the knowledge of other religions. Like in high school, like my sophomore year, all the schools I went to were Catholic. They were mixed, boys and girls, but then high school was all guys.
Yeah.
It was all guys high school. And we took world religions class. So like learning about Hinduism, Judaism, all of the Muslim, all the shit. Zoroastrianism, which is like some OG fucking pre-Christian.
Never
like
heard of it.
Cave Christians.
Yeah.
And Zoroastrians still exist today, but they're a dying breed because they don't interlope with people outside of their religion. It's crazy. But anyway, they're like
Scientologists.
But Scientologists branch out and bring in other people. Zoroastrians are like, if you're not Zoroastrian, you can't be a Zoroastrian.
You got to be like born as Austrian?
Kind of, yeah. Oh. It's a weird, like it will eventually die out, Zoroastrians. Yeah,
okay.
It's weird. But it's like Christianity. Anyway, like me learning about that stuff was like, well, then why are we putting all of our money on this one?
if we're taking bets on which God is coming back and which God I'm going to meet in heaven, I mean, I'm not going to put all my eggs in one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like why are we got like I get it, we're powerful. We got the church, we got the diocese. I mean, for Christ's sakes, the Catholics have their own country. The Vatican is a country.
Yeah.
Which is bullshit. But anyway, like that was like my dismantling of it. And the more you learn, it was just like, all right, well, I mean, the dividing line is faith. And faith doesn't live in science. Science is, and now you still have to get spirituality when you say, okay, there's a higher power. I'm not going to choose one, or I'm just going to, be open to different interpretations, which is where I'm at. I'm like that with you. Like, I'm like, there's got to be something, like, or at least I'd like to hope that there is. What it is, I don't know. But like the idea to be like, it is the Lord our Savior, his son, Jesus Christ. Like, it's just like, all right.
Enough.
Yeah.
Well, it's like funny, right? Because it's like, I say those things, but like at times, like I will pray to God. Like there's some times where like things are serious for me.
That's where it stays in you.
Yeah.
That's where you can't escape it.
But like there's some times where like I'm really going through it, or like I really need something. But it's like, let me tell you something. It's like I have a respect for him. I don't like ask him for a lot. Like,
just
I don't,
in case.
Yeah.
Just in case.
No. I don't be like something serious. And I'd be like, hey, I never contact you for this stuff.
I like how you're looking up too. You're like, hey, bud.
I'd be like, hey, it's me again. Like, I don't usually contact you. I only contact you when I need you. It's like this weird thing. And I'm like,
I used to do that, and then I eventually stopped. I don't even do that anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's not a thing.
I don't abuse it, but it works for me. I'm gonna be honest.
Now, see, if this was Bible class, I would ask you, it's good that somewhere God still lives in your heart. But do you ever think to look up and thank him?
Yes, I do all the time.
You thank him?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. See, you're very good at this class. You're so good at being a Catholic.
Well, I mean, when I was doing the Bible classes, it was different. They they opened the Bible, they opened their like books, like they had kid books, like kid Bibles.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, oh, I'm gonna say a sentence. Who can finish it? Or who am I talking about? Like shit like that. And I remember I punched this kid in.
He was a real fucking do-gooder in Bible class. Always one-upping me. Always getting on his knees faster. Knew when to genuflect. Motherfucker.
But he was like, I think that's when they didn't want me back there. What could I have done? But like they still, like the pastor of that church still asked for me, but whatever. So like this kid, he was like bothering my cousin, and I was like young, and my cousin was like, Ashlynn, this kid is bothering me. Go punch him in the face. My cousin, by the way, is like maybe 13, 14 at this point, because he's like 7 years older than me, Chris. And he just told me to do it, and then I just went and just punched this kid in the face.
No questions.
No
That's
questions
loyalty.
asked.
That's fucking loyalty.
No questions asked.
She would never do that for me. She would never do that.
I would never do that because now I'm an adult.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, I'm an adult. Yeah. The older you get, the less loyal you get.
No, it's not that.
I'm just fine.
I'm doing it for money now. You got to slip me an envelope.
Put me in the ring, baby.
You got to slip me an envelope. You can't just be like, this person's bothering me. I'm like, not my problem. None of my business. I've learned how to mind my business. Unless money is involved, because money is my business.
Money is God, yo.
But yeah, like I remember doing that shit, and like I remember just like not fitting in. Like, like I had this one girl too who I went to middle school with. Her name was Luce. Of course it would be. That's light. That's light. So like her parents had her for purpose.
Luce. Just couldn't add the Y.
I'm so glad my parents didn't have me for purpose. You know what I mean? When they're like, oh, this child is born, and they name it something. Oh, Luce, because she's gonna bring light into my life.
Wait, what's Luce? Luce?
Luce, like la Luce.
Oh, come on! I speak 0 languages. I don't know what that. I thought you were saying loose, like a loose screw.
No, like
or like short for Lucy.
Yeah, no, loose.
Oh, so light is loose in Spanish.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, I hate when people have like kids for purpose for that shit. Like my sister, when she gave birth to my niece, she named my niece's name was Faith, and I was like, Arlen, please do not give her a stripper name. Please do not give her a stripper name. Like, why would you do that? Right? And like, she was like, no, because like someone told me, like, you know, stupid Hispanic shit. Someone told me that I was going to get pregnant and that this little girl was going to change my life. So I'm going to name her Faith because it's Faith. And like, my sister has 2 boys. She wanted a girl really badly. And I'm like, just name her girl then, you know, just name her girl. That's her purpose, that she's a girl. And my niece like loves to do TikTok dances, and my sister would record them, right? She'll record them and send them to me. She'd be like, remember when you told me not to name her Faith because she'll be a stripper?
And like thinks it's like just like fun.
Yeah.
It's just like fun that is she religious at all? Like,
no, not even a little bit. not has like 5 kids, never been married. Love her dearly.
The names are funny and like on all spectrums, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, my nephew's name is Denard Tyrell.
Denard's kind of a cool name.
Yeah, it means money in another language.
Oh, like dinero, like dinar. Oh,
yeah,
dinar.
Yeah, and then my nephew's name is Robert James, and then Faith Ann. You know what I mean? Faith Ann. Like, I'm like, what?
Sounds like a singing group. Like
all the kids?
Yeah, with all the names. Denard Jackson, Faith.
Denard Tyrell.
Denard Tyrell, yeah.
Tyrell Jackson, same thing to you, huh?
Yeah. I don't know. I started making up names.
I'm fine with you.
Terrell.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was my story about her. Just like,
because of the names and the religious shit. Yeah.
So I went to school with this girl named Luce, right? And she was just like, taking herself so serious. She'd wear the skirts only, right? And then like we even went to high school together. And after high school, she became a slut.
Hell yeah.
Well, not a slut in a bad way. She became promiscuous.
Right.
Yeah.
Not slut shaming.
Yeah.
That's like a positive word now. You can be called that.
It's always been a positive word in the gay community.
Right, but I feel like it's like moved over into like the straight world now.
Yeah,
you know,
such a slut.
You're such a dirty slut.
Yeah.
It's
a positive. I'm gonna put it on my bio. Comedian, podcaster, dirty slut.
Slut boy, slut man. Yeah, it is kind of like a fun. It's got a fun spelling to it as well, like the S and then the long U and then. Or the long L and then the U and then the T. It's like low, high.
Where is your brain? Where is your brain? Hello? Hello? Knock knock. Is anybody there? I mean, you're not wrong. But it's such a weird thing to be like, the way you spell it. I'm like,
and it's like 2 squiggle letters with 2 straight ones.
You don't gotta explain it to us.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool intricacies of the linguistics of the word slut. And the letters.
Just want to know where your brain is. But now that it's Easter, now people can enjoy their meats. You've been holding on eating your meat.
You've been not eating meat every Friday like a good God-fearing Christian.
What I love too is that it's like every Friday, right? And then Good Friday comes, you're not supposed to eat meat, and then like Easter, you eat the worst
lamb. You're eating a lamb
or a ham, like the worst meat for your body. Ham,
and I'm pretty sure lamb. Usually, when you eat lamb, it's like of a youthful lamb. You're not eating like old lamb,
a baby lamb.
Yeah. Like a lot of times you hear people be like, "Oh, I eat meat, but I don't eat veal and lamb." Because like lamb chops, it's like, you know, you're like these little.
Yeah, I've heard people say that they don't eat caviar too because they're babies
little
and shit like
eggs.
that. Yeah,
caviar is so fucking good.
I'm like, do you eat eggs though? You know what I mean?
Right.
Your logic doesn't make sense.
It's different.
It's different because it is, you know. Yeah. But yeah, you go from from not eating meat, and then you're like the worst meat.
Yes, to
baby lamb.
Yeah.
Ham. It's like the worst for your body. Yeah. I love it. I love the Catholic system.
I know it's fucking great. Yeah, Easter dinner is.
Do you ever give up anything for Lent? I have never in my life given anything up for Lent.
I think I lied a lot about what I was going to give her for Lent and didn't.
It's like a New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe there like a couple times, like when I was really younger and still like buying into it a little bit more, I would like kind of do a few days of giving something up, but I wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know.
You know how I treat that? Like, you know, like some people are very religious, right? And they like, no, I'm not eating meat today. And I'm like, oh, that's still happening? Like, Lent is still happening? I treat it like Labor Day and Memorial Day, like you're not supposed to wear white after one of them. Like, I treat it like that. I'm like, oh, we're in that period.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're in that period of okay.
Well, I feel that way about Ash Wednesday when they're walking around with the crosses. I'm like, what? Oh, we're doing that still. Okay. You all got a bunch of targets on your heads. Thank God I love Christians.
You got a bunch of dirt in your head. I don't even go to church. I just like go outside, find some dirt, and I'm like,
you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just do it on a day that's not the right day, and then go around and like be like Ash Wednesday.
But not only that, like, you know, some people will look at you and be like, "Is it Ash Wednesday?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because it's something you correlate. You don't even like double think. Like, I never see someone with something like with that on their head and go, "It's not Ash Wednesday." I'm like, "Oh, it's Ash Wednesday." You know what I mean? But talking about meat and all that stuff, we should move on to our segment. We have people's favorite segment. This is everyone's favorite segment. Everyone who listens to this podcast, which we are thankful for.
Yes, thank you for listening.
Thank you, and you're welcome, okay? Because the fuck, this is fucking talent here. But people who listen, they love this segment.
People
and so
be preppers. That's what it was called last time, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but you love this segment, so we're bringing it back because we also loved it. So we have some nice celebrities for you. We have some delicious meat.
Mm-hmm. So for those of you who are maybe listening and hadn't heard this the last time, we go through some of our favorite celebrities, not even our favorite, just ones we select 10 minutes before we record, and then we discuss how we'd prepare them and then decide which one would be our favorite.
Yes, exactly. Well put.
Yeah.
Well put.
We worked it out last episode, so I feel like we got it down now.
But I love how you're also hesitant. I was like, you're like, how we will prep them. If you haven't listened to this podcast, we prep this meat and we did it 10 minutes before. And I love how you're just like, you know it, but you're like still second guessing yourself. Yeah. I love that. But our first people meet sacrifice.
You know, I never thought even last time or this time like how we're acquiring it. I'm just thinking this is like
a menu.
We're just able to get
the first person on our menu.
Yeah.
On our people who meet menu is RuPaul.
Yes, RuPaul. Right. You know, I don't know why, but just beef. I'm thinking like a beef jerky.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, to me, RuPaul can be like, it's a very elegant meat. That's my thing. It's very taken care of.
Okay, now I'm changing my mind.
Right, but you and I go through this where we think about it differently. We got this in the first episode, in the first people meet. Yeah. We both go into this thinking very differently. So I think like a very elegant meat, right? Like something that's been it's got good, like, and it's not even meat for me. Like, she's also like a fishy queen. Like, you know, she got the look, the dress, you know, it's what you would call like a fishy queen, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, she's like a nice, I say she when she's in drag, a nice piece of spicy tuna.
Okay, like an ahi tuna. Okay.
Yeah, like, you know, like tuna, you have to like, tuna has to be, and not tuna fish in a can. Tuna. Yeah, like I know I'm explaining to people. Yeah. Not you.
Like
not
a
you.
Pan-seared.
Yeah.
With like a nice crust on the outside.
Yes, like you put lime on the pan first, and you like. But she's like a nice spicy tuna, because like with tuna, there has to be like you have to be like a perfect color and have a perfect fat in you. Like it's got like tuna is very hard. Yeah. To have the right type of tuna.
Like nail it nice and make it. Yeah.
So like I would do like a spicy tuna for her, like seared and all of that. But I would also do her as like a bacon steak with maple.
Wait, we've had that together, right?
Yes, at the Palm.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? She would be like a nice bacon steak.
All right. You know what? I'm going to stick with that because I don't want to overcomplicate it. Because you said delicate. You know, fuck it. I'm going to say this.
Yes.
So I was thinking the beef jerky thing at first because I was thinking like, you know, when he's skinny, you know, like
he's long and
he's
skinny.
spicy though.
Yeah.
You know, he's got sass to him. So it's like, okay, like let's fucking age dry you and get a little more spices on there and just I'll eat you on the road. I'll take you anywhere with me.
We're not totally wrong. We're not totally on opposite sides.
Right. But when you said delicate, okay?
I said elegant.
Elegant, sorry. Same thing came to mind was, you know, I haven't seen RuPaul without a shirt on in a while, but like imagine like rib, you know, you can see bone, like ribs. And like, have you ever had like squab or pigeon?
No.
So it's like a very delicate bird.
Yeah.
That like require, and like the bones are like very thin, and you have to be careful with like how you prepare. It's like a lot of French delicacy shit.
Yeah.
And I'm actually thinking that's how I might prepare a RuPaul as like a high end like squab, or like even you want to get like illegal with it, like an ortolan. Like I know I told you, but when they put the napkin over their head, like I would prepare RuPaul like an ortolan.
Yes.
Drown her in brandy, you know?
Yeah.
Because you got to get it young, and the bird, drown her in brandy, and that's how they kill the bird and like marinate it.
You know, you know what's funny is that like I thought about RuPaul in drag and RuPaul out of drag. Like that's how I thought about it, right? Because I was like, RuPaul in drag is like spicy and like just like nice and has like the right fat and has like the right color, like, you know, like all of that. And then like out of drag, he's like tall, lanky, and just like, but still rough and thick.
Yeah.
And then like the maple is like the kick. You know what I mean? Because it's like sweet. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
So like that's how I thought. But like jerky and kind of bacon steak, they look alike.
Right.
You know what I mean? Of course, you can tell, but I'm just saying they're both tall and like a thick cut of meat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna. I think too, because this is such an important game. I think I'm gonna hold off my ortolan and stick with the bacon steak or the beef jerky.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna stick with that because I'm also I have to take age into consideration, and ortolans and pigeons and squabs, it's a younger meat.
Yeah.
And RuPaul, you still look sassy as fuck in your you're in your prime years, but for me, you're a little over it. You're a little beyond your prime. For
RuPaul will always be in his prime. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like,
but in terms of age meat, I need
But it's like RuPaul always looks better than anyone in the room.
Right.
You know?
Yes. In drag or normal.
Yes, he looks better than both of us.
yeah. For sure.
We're 30.
Combined.
Yeah. We're 30. Yeah. He's like 50 something, and like people won't even notice us if we walked in after RuPaul or before.
You were like
RuPaul.
in the corner talking about our farts.
Yeah. So would you eat RuPaul? Because we did that before too.
I gotta say up top, I'll eat all of these people.
Okay, I'm not gonna say up top that I'll eat all of them, but I will eat RuPaul because honestly, I could afford to have some femininity in me. Like I can. That would be great.
So, because you said we go about this differently. See, I feel like we can turn most of. I mean, this is only our second time doing, but so far, everything we've come up with sounds delicious. So there hasn't been anyone where I'm like, nah.
Well, for me, like I know the list. There's someone I won't eat on this list.
Okay.
But like I would eat RuPaul, you know, because I like I said in the other episode where we did this, I also go off personality. Like I use that in my decision. So
I have been taking that more into consideration as we've done this more.
So I would eat RuPaul. Would you eat RuPaul?
I would eat RuPaul.
Sweet.
But of what we've done so far, yes.
Okay. So our next person is Bob Bunny.
Bob Bunny, hello.
Hi, C.
Hey, Siri, are you going to eat me?
Yeah.
I am with the...
Okay.
Okay.
Bob Bunny, baby.
Yeah.
Bob Bunny, baby.
His voice in the way he talks versus his when he's singing is like so wildly different to me.
Like rapping, you mean?
Yeah. When he's singing and shit.
Well, if you listen to his OG shit, his voice is even deeper. I guess someone must have told him, listen, like some people can't understand you.
They told me to lighten it up.
Well, not his speaking voice, like his rapping voice.
No, I know, but I'm just doing his speaking voice.
Oh, you're doing his speaking.
I imagine him in his personal world to just be very like
But you're also talking about his speaking in English, because when he speaks in Spanish is way different.
Yeah, that's true.
He's like gangster when he talks in Spanish. He's like because I think he gets embarrassed with English. He's like very shy. He's like, I don't know what's people's problem.
I don't know what everyone's saying.
Yeah. But when he's in Spanish, he's like, a mí no me importa. Like, you know what I mean? Que se vayan pa'l carajo. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because what's the song? What's the song where he's in when Snoop's in the video?
Oh, Hoy Cobré.
I don't know the word. That's not that song?
No.
Oh, anyway, but that's...
You're talking about Bichial. With the Asian lady.
Sorry, wrong song. Ignore that.
You're talking about with the Snoop Dogg, Hoy Cobré. You're talking about Hoy Cobré,
Yeah, okay, yes. That song is a prime example of that, because when spoiler alert, Snoop's in the video, and when he walks in that clothes store, and the guy's like half speaking in and out of Spanish, and Snoop comes in and he's like speaking Spanish, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, hello, Snoop. What's up, Snoop? Like,
well, he doesn't really
chill.
Talk like that, but he's chill. He's like, this guy's saying that I cannot smoke here.
I can't smoke in here.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
But like his Spanish is just different.
Yeah.
But okay, all right. And if you don't listen to Bad Bunny, you fucking should. Okay.
Turn the show off.
Okay. Yeah. Get out. All right. So Bad Bunny. I'll do Bad Bunny first. To me, he's like a nice rotisserie chicken.
Okay.
With like the Spanish spice though, like not white people, not like BJ's rotisserie chicken. Like you gotta have a Spanish rotisserie chicken to know what I'm talking about. Like Spanish people like lather that shit up. We cook it for like 6 hours, slow roast it. Like you've had Malecón chicken. Malecón is a restaurant in New York on 175th.
Yeah, but you're talking about where it's like served like it's slow cooked all day, and then you could pick which one you want.
But you've had like BJ's chicken and then Malecón's chicken. Yeah, you know what I mean. You're not the only, because I'm saying like it's just different. Yeah, it's beautiful meat.
Yeah,
and it's like because what I love about Bad Bunny is like there's some dry, there's some dark meat. Like he's all over the place. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think I just have to... I know that's not exciting, but I think I have to agree with you wholeheartedly on that.
Okay, well, how did you have him? Like,
see, it was like tough, right? Because like, aside from removing all like his personality and shit, he's kind of just like, he's not even very tall.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, he's really tall? But he's not like big.
He's 5'11".
I guess I wouldn't consider that tall, but okay. So he's 5'11".
What's your size? What's your height?
5'9".
You're like 5'8", dude.
No, 5'9". You want to see my ID?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. Because they really check your height and your ID. I'll
get my medical records for next episode.
I could put 5'4" on my fucking shit, and they wouldn't even they wouldn't even second guess that.
All right. I mean, I'm not lying to you, but anyway, like, so he's in my mind, like he is taller than me. Yeah. But like, I think of someone like 6 foot and up is like, to me, it's like,
he's not far from there. He's like 2 inches off.
Okay, but then the same thing is like he's only 2 inches off from me. So it's like, to me, it's just not like, I don't look at that as like, whoa, you're so tall. Like he's like skinny though, right?
But I wouldn't say he's so tall, but he is tall. That was the argument. You were saying that he's not tall, right? And I was like, he's tall. He's just not so tall.
Okay.
That's what you were saying. He's not tall.
We're splitting hairs over what we believe tall is.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, you know what? Out of my my love for him and my undying respect for him, and fucking the fact that despite being tall, like he's not like but he's skinny though, right?
He's skinny generally. He's working on his body now. Now he's got like abs and all of that shit. He's trying to be in movies. So like, I guess he's skinny. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm sticking with yours. Because he's not delicate enough for ortolan. I'm holding off for the squab and the pigeon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's your squab and pigeon shit right now.
Because that's a style of meat. That's a style
but there's a lot of style of meat. And we keep going back to pigeon.
Well, because I want to give it to someone that's good, but also like fits the profile for the meat. But like your thing with like slow cooking him all day with all the shit. I mean, it just fucking makes sense.
And he's got like this
give Bad Bunny back to the people.
I love like we're not even like he's rabbit meat. You ever think about that? Because he's a fucking bunny. Like that didn't even like cross our head.
But we're not here for puns. This isn't here for puns.
But I love that. I love that we didn't do that. Because like we're just
everyone's sitting at home like banging their head against the wall. Like,
everyone's like rabbit meat, but we're like, no, we're eating this guy for real. It's not funny to us, okay? It's not about puns. It's about what he would taste like. But I put rotisserie. I also put like he would be a nice taco meat. But like, when you're having like real expensive taco meat, like you could, like you can tell the difference when it's been seasoned and taken care of. And the reason why I say that is because he was so underrated. And I feel like tacos sometimes can be underrated because people have like Taco Bell. Yeah, Chipotle, right? And they think those are real tacos. Yeah. But like you have real tacos that's been loved that it fucking slaps. Like there's nothing that slaps harder than that.
Right.
And Bad Bunny slaps. You know what I mean? He's underrated. Well, not underrated, but overlooked, that I guess I would say. So that's what I said. Like rotisserie chicken, but Spanish style, Spanish spice. Not that white shit y'all do on BJ's and Costco's and shit. And a nice taco meat, too. Because it just, Would you eat Bad Bunny?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I would eat Bad Bunny because I could afford the swag and also the femininity. Right. Just like every male we have, I'm like the femininity also. Yeah. Because like I don't have any.
You surround yourself with feminine males.
Yes, you.
Yeah.
Including yourself. Yeah. All right. So you would eat Bad Bunny. I would eat Bad Bunny. I'm glad we agree on that. Honestly, if you would have said you wouldn't eat Bad Bunny, I would have just left. I just would have walked out, closed our account, all our Lipson account, Instagram account, just cut it all. All right, go ahead. You want to move on to the next one?
Does it matter? I forget. Is the next one the one I picked?
Yeah.
So yeah, number 3, Magic Johnson.
I wish you guys would also see, like, maybe we should do this in the Patreon. Like when we do a Patreon, I wish you guys could see when he brings certain things up to me. Like, that's what I really wish people would see. And I'm just like, you are pushing the envelope. I'm like, I know exactly why you did it. But let's talk about it. No, let's talk about it.
Okay, so do you know how you would prepare? Because I know how I prepare.
Yeah, I know how I would prepare.
Okay, so I would prepare him so to be clear, I'd eat Magic Johnson. No problems.
Me too. That immune system, absolutely. Like, he caught AIDS in the 90s and is still alive.
Right.
Like, ain't nobody else doing that.
Right.
Like, I want that immune system, baby.
Well, I would do it like, do you know about that really expensive blowfish, poisonous blowfish that they eat in Japan?
No. I've heard of it, but I don't really know how it's cooked or anything like that.
It's served sashimi style.
Okay.
And what is the uniqueness of it is that the blowfish must be cut in a certain way, because if they cut it the wrong way, it releases a toxic poison inside the meat, and the person gets really sick or dies. And if a sushi chef serves it to someone and they die, I don't think this has happened in forever, but they have to I don't know.
Because you got to be certified
to
be
themselves or whatever.
Sushi.
Not seppuku, whatever they do.
But you got to be certified.
Yes.
Like, you got to, yes.
And it's very expensive, and that is how I would eat Magic Johnson.
Okay.
To avoid the impending disease. But also because he's older and he's like a tuna, like a fit, he's got like fat on him, I'm sure he's in shape, but like.
I was like, tough meat. Like, he's tough meat because he's a big dude. You know what I mean? He's a big fucking dude. And I would have him like as a beef stew. But I would cook him like also in a sancocho.
Okay.
So sometimes sancocho has like meat and beef and stuff like that in it. I would do that because like sancochos make you healthier. And for some reason, like, I think eating him would make me healthier because even though he has HIV, it's like he survived it. You know what I mean? Like, he's a fucking...
I like how you're like, this is like a vaccine. Like, you're like a...
Magic Johnson is like a vaccine.
A vaccine from something that is not even statistically something you should be worried about also.
Right, but it's still
But
something.
like, it doesn't hurt to have.
But it's an immune. Like it feels like a superpower to me. Like when we talk about like Magic Johnson and like the 90s, like surviving all of that, I'm like, this dude has a superpower that no one's talking about. This guy belongs on X-Men. That's how I think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how I think about Magic Johnson.
I wouldn't eat him your way.
Yeah.
But that was just fine. There's,
Well, we don't agree, so we
no
should stop
winner.
being friends.
There's no winner. Yeah.
That's
the
how it
show's
works
over, I
out.
guess.
Yeah.
Disagreement. We're
Yeah,
done.
yeah. Yeah, so you would eat Magic Johnson.
I would.
I would eat Magic Johnson. All right, perfect. So far, we agree.
Prepared by the most trained knifesmen from
For
Japan.
me, prepared by the most...
Just dump them all in there in a big old stew.
Not even, like, you know how hard it is to make sancocho?
I'm sure it's really difficult and delicious.
I was going to say made by, like, a experienced grandmother.
Dude, imagine you're
like
just
a Puerto Rican grandmother or a Dominican grandmother making a sancocho.
Imagine, like, okay. Imagine, like, it would be crazy no matter who you put a delicious, like, dish of sancocho in front of somebody and they're like, if you made it with any one of the people we've ever listed,
Yeah.
someone would be taken back. But then you're like, made with Magic Johnson. Like the the face of someone who's like, wait, this is human? Wait, it's magic. What? Why?
But you tell them after.
Yeah.
You're like, you like the meat in that? Yeah, it was very tough, like very good. It has some grit. Made by Magic Johnson.
Made with Magic Johnson.
All right, cool. So we'll both eat Magic Johnson. I didn't expect anything less from us. Let's move on to our next guy. We got Clint Eastwood, the badass himself.
Hey there. I was going to start doing Gran Turismo and I realized I can't say anything from that movie because it's a bunch of Asian slurs. Now is not the time.
Not the time. Wrong timing.
Yeah.
Couldn't be any wronger.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is why I'd make him General Tso's chicken.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood as a delicious beef and broccoli.
Yeah. As a sweet and sour chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah. With fried rice, of course. All right. So the way, like, to me, he's like a smoked meat.
Okay.
Like he's like, oh, you know what I mean? He's got some age to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's like very smoked. I also put like, he's the type of meat that you can, I don't know what kind of meat, but he's the type of meat that you can cook with whiskey butter.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
right.
whiskey, like I think of him like with liquor for some reason. It has to be slow cooked. And it's like, he's the type of meat also that you can have with like traditional stuff, right? Like he's like a piece of meat that you have with like mashed potatoes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's just like old traditional. Like,
right.
Yeah, he's like a good cooked meat. Like you put thyme in and then like other stuff in, but it still goes with like a sweet mash, you know? Like
that's
a sweet...
interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think you gave him a little more credit than I did.
Okay.
Because I think he looks disgusting. So
Yeah.
I would just either like...
But so aged meat always looks disgusting.
Yeah, but he's just like so old.
Yeah.
And
What'd you put him with?
I was thinking either like just like turn him into a Slim Jim. And when I say Slim Jim, I don't mean beef jerky. I mean like, or like make him like a, like throw him in and like.
I don't think
like,
anyone thinks of beef jerky when you say a Slim Jim.
Right, like
that
I want to make
so
the clear
specific.
differentiator. Right, it's like
that's
or like,
a meat stick.
Right, or yes,
it hasn't been like there's
yes.
nothing nothing like como se dice.
Yeah.
You know?
Or like a ham inside of a hot pocket, a ham and cheese hot pocket, like or just ground him into a dust and
like
just
a
like
pig in a blanket.
Yeah, just grind it all up,
Yeah.
get it out of my processing, get it out of my face.
Okay, all right. Would you eat him?
Yeah, because I eat Slim Jim every once in a blue moon.
I would eat him just because he has like a badass kick-ass meat. You know, like he's a badass kick-ass person. Like when you think of him, like,
right.
And I would just be like, yeah, that's badass. You know what I mean? Like
you have this very, and you did this in the last one, where you feel like you're gonna like adopt.
Yeah,
the
what
things,
I mean,
the
yeah,
qualities
yeah.
of that person by eating them.
Yeah. That's what I think of.
My head is not there at all.
Yeah. Well, you know.
But do you think that about animals? Because you don't eat chicken and start buck, 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 like being a chicken.
But I do. I'm like, what kind of?
But I do.
No. But I do like be like, oh, like it's a caged free. I don't want no stress in my animal. Like I think about shit like that.
Okay.
I'm not like, oh, it's not cage free eggs. I won't eat it. Like I'm not like that crazy. I'm just a tad crazy. You know what I mean? Like I do think about what I eat. Like I do think you like, you know, like I don't eat ham a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not for like, oh, pigs are cute. Just because I'm
you
like,
don't want to start winking.
I mean, what part of what I just said didn't you understand?
I understand all of it. I just want to fuck with you.
Yeah, well, it's not funny.
I think it's funny.
Yeah, by yourself. By yourself.
You don't
you
know
didn't
what
even
they're
laugh.
laughing.
You didn't even laugh. How do you think it's funny?
You would double shit on me if I started laughing at my own joke.
It would be,
and a good comedian never laughs at their own
it would
jokes.
Be better,
they hate all their jokes.
It would be better if you laughed at it. At least I'd be like, he's entertaining someone. Even himself. All right, so you would eat Clint Eastwood as like a road trip.
It's a processed
as
meat.
like a road trip. Oh, I'm starving. I'm in the gas station.
Yeah.
I only trust beef jerky here.
Right. Turn him into
like
a McDonald's burger.
Yeah. Like a McGriddle or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, let's move on to our next one. Lindsay Lohan.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. I feel like she would probably taste. This was like the one I didn't like. Nothing came to mind, but I don't think that it would be great.
Yeah, I put she's like a meat that has been marinated in a lot of shit. Not shit literally. And like like a lot of weird shit, like, you know, when people marinate their meat, like orange juice and like
yeah,
you know,
it requires a lot.
And
like she's bland, extremely bland.
No, I don't think she's bland. I just think she has so much drugs in her that she's been marinated with drugs and alcohol. Like that is soaking in her fucking skin.
Wait a minute. She's the ortolan. She's my ortolan. She's all skinny and gross, and you have to kill them with brandy soaked in the drugs. That's how I would eat her.
Why is she skinny and gross?
Lindsay Lohan?
Yeah.
Isn't she all like coked out and like skinny as hell?
No, she's so healthy. But and I put like the marinate, like what she's marinated is not good. You know what I mean? It's just like shit you should never put, like pickle juice, orange juice, apple juice, cranberry juice.
It's like a brine,
yeah,
like a serious brine.
Yeah, but it's gross. Like it's just all the things you don't want on a meat. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a nice barbecue,
so
a nice
you're
teriyaki.
saying like a poorly prepared meat.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
A poorly prepared meat.
Just a meat just sitting in vinegar.
Yeah.
A vinegar marinated meat.
Right, like not even like that you cleaned it with vinegar, but you marinated it with vinegar. And maybe some ketchup too.
It's a deviled piece of chicken.
Yeah. But it's some people's taste. Some people are like, oh my God, never had it.
You ain't never had a piece of vinegar chicken before?
Yeah.
You're missing out.
Yeah. What are you, boy, Gen Z? Like, what? I love when people just throw that there. They just throw your generation out there, and you're like, what are you talking about?
And also in a derogatory way. Like, it's like that's a lateral thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so would you eat Lindsay Lohan?
Yeah, I guess. I eat such garbage food. I feel like I would.
I wouldn't eat Lindsay Lohan, right? I wouldn't. Like, that's just not a meat I'm interested in. But like if someone was like it's the opposite of like what you were saying with the Magic Johnson, where like someone eats it first and then they're like, it's Magic Johnson. Like someone would have to present it to me as Lindsay Lohan meat.
Yeah.
Because then I'm like, oh, it's Lindsay Lohan meat. Like it's iconic. Like why wouldn't I eat it? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like whether you like her or not, Freaky Friday is good.
And I know this is supposed
whether you like her or not, like Mean Girls is fucking sick.
Yeah. I know this is people meat, but I honestly the issue I had with figuring this one out was when I thought of it, for some reason I was just like, she would just taste like taffy or something like that.
No.
Which is not a meat, but I was just like, for some reason it'd be like, you just taste like gum or something. Like something you just like chew but
I
don't
love
swallow.
gum. I would never say that. I would never say that. I'm just like thinking like a foul meat, like not even like a chicken, like just something gross, Like, I don't know.
She would probably taste like skate. That's what she would taste like. Do you ever have, you know what a skate is? Not a roller skate.
She would taste like tofu, like marinated in vinegar.
Whatever it is marinated in fucking vinegar. But I was gonna say if okay, I'll put my real hat in the ring on this. I think she would taste like a skate if we're gonna go real meat. Do you know what a skate is?
No, I've never had skate.
Skate is like it's like in the stingray family.
Yeah.
They're in New Jersey. Like they're probably up in the Cape too.
Yeah.
Like,
what isn't in New Jersey?
There's
everything's New Jersey.
They're like these little. They look like mini stingrays, and they still have the little spine, but they like kind of burrow in the sand. They don't like glide through the water. They're like little sand creatures, and you can catch skate and eat them. You cut the wing, and you could like grill, but it's like a tough. It almost tastes like shark. If you've ever had shark, like it's kind of like a brittly, kind of breaks up in your mouth, weird texture, kind of like that. I think she would taste like a grilled skate,
but marinated in vinegar.
But marinated in vinegar. 100%.
All right. So that's our hot take. That's our people meat. Okay. If you didn't like it, we don't care.
Right.
All right.
I'm honestly mostly happy that I, for myself, figured out that she would taste like that.
And honestly, like Chris and I were saying, like if we were talking about this like earlier, like if you want to send us some celebrities that you would like us like to hear us prepare, if you would like to send us celebrities that we should prepare and put on our menu, send them to us on our Instagram. We're Splittin Hairs on Instagram, or you could follow us, or if you follow us on our own individually, send them to us too. You know what I mean?
Send
like,
them to us personally, or the email,
or if you want us to tell, like, to do you, like, no hetero, you. No hetero, we'll do you.
mad homo for me, and I'll do you. Hetero or homo, but you got to be willing for us to put your picture up. So if you're gonna do that, send us a picture of yourself. But you can choose a nice
picture of yourself.
Yeah, but also if you're gonna send us a picture, we're gonna need some kind of a body shot, not naked. Unless you want to do that, but like you can't just send us your face.
Do that.
Someone can't just send their face, because then how am I going to gauge how I'm going to eat you?
Look, send us a picture. If you don't want us to show your face, we don't. We can black that out. Face. Yeah, we could go no face. Just send us your body. I mean, we're not body shaming here. I mean, like, think about it. When it comes to meat, the fatter the fucking better. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's
like
not...
we both come from like fat meat culture.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Like,
if you're fat, it's probably going to be delicious.
Yeah.
So.
And what else was I gonna? Oh, also like let us know your personality a little bit.
Yeah, give us a little blurb about yourself.
That's important to me.
Yeah, some things that you like to do.
Yeah,
right.
Like your hobbies, your flaws. You know what I mean? I need to know all of them before I fucking eat you. Are you stressed?
Yeah.
Do you have anxiety? I need to know, because I can't just be eating shit that's stress. All right. But this has been our podcast. This has been Splittin Hairs.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Are we taking it out with
do you have
one?
Yeah. Would you rather be frozen to death or burned to death?
Oh, okay. I know.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, frozen to death. All right.